Before we start, feel free to comment on any questions you have and I'll literally respond within 2 minutes, I promise. Okay, first things first, whip out your phone, that's right, whip it out, and then record a video of whatever thing you want to rotoscope. In this case, I want to rotoscope this Toyota Lamborghini toy car. Okay, after you're done, email this recording to yourself either through Outlook or Gmail or whatever emailing service you use. And to email yourself, just compose an email and type in your own email address. Alright, so now that we've switched over to our computer, I'm going to find the email as you can see right here, and then I'm going to download the video that I sent to myself. Alright, so now we're going to want to download a few things. The first thing being ShotCut, which is going to be the program where we will extract all of our frames. So it's going to be this thing right here. And then you're going to want to go to download and then choose whichever version you need. In this case, for me, it will be the Windows installer. Alright, next thing we're going to download is Krita. As you can see, it's going to be this site right here. You go through the same process where you go to the download section and then you just download whatever version you need. And this will be where we actually trace the frames. Alright, so now we're going to extract all our frames by opening up ShotCut. So I have ShotCut right here in my taskbar. But if you don't see it, go to the search function and then just search up ShotCut. But I'm going to go ahead and open it up here. Alright, so now that you have ShotCut opened up, you want to make a new project, and for the project name, I'm just going to name it Lamborghini, but you can name it whatever you want, and then we're going to click Start, and then over here in the top left corner, you're going to want to click File, and then Open File, and then you want to go to the Download section, where we downloaded the video from the email we sent to ourselves. And go ahead and find that video. Mine is going to be right here. I have a cone here, but don't worry if yours doesn't have the cone. It's just an extension, but go ahead and open that up. Alright, so now once you have your video in this playback, you can go ahead and left click it and then drag it to the timeline like this. And then here you can make any necessary edits you want. So you can edit by dragging from this end to the left if you want to shorten it like that. Or you can shorten it from the beginning by dragging the left edge and then dragging it to the right, like so. Or you could just make cuts, individual cuts. So you can use this feature, split at playhead, and then they'll create one cut. And then I can create another cut right here by doing the split at playhead button again. And then you can just go ahead, you can grab this chunk right here and then you can just hit delete and then fuse them together. And that's generally how you edit whatever video you want to rotoscope. Alright, so now for the fun part, we're going to want to extract all the frames from this video. And if you don't see this menu bar over here to the left, you want to go ahead and head over here and click the export button, and then this menu bar should pop up. And then once you're here, you're going to want to scroll down all the way down until you see PNG, and it's going to be right here under stills. And you're going to want to click that, and then this should pop up right here. And once you see these settings, you want to go to advanced, as you can see right here. And then you're going to want to click that. And then we have to edit something very important, so listen up. Right here where it says frames per second, the higher this number, the more frames or the more pictures that are going to be extracted from this video, meaning that there's going to be more time spent on tracing everything. So you don't really want to spend an egregious amount of time rotoscoping. You want to go ahead and lower this down to something more like 17 or 18. Or somewhere in between there. I'm going to do 17 personally. It just feels like a good number for me. And then also pay attention to your aspect ratio and your resolution. So if you remember, I filmed this video right here in landscape mode, which is why my aspect ratio is 16:9. But if you did portrait, you might want to switch this to 9:16. But for me, since I did landscape, I'm going to leave it at 16:9. Okay, so now a very important step is coming up again, so make sure to pay very close attention. After playing around with all your settings and lowering the frames per second, you want to go down here to export file. And then you want to go to somewhere where you want to store all these pictures. So I'm going to go down here to documents, which is just the same place right here. But anyways, then what you want to do is, and this is very important, right click right here by this empty space. So right click and then click new and then folder. And then this is going to be the folder where you're going to store all your frames, and you can name it anything you want. I'm just going to name it frames. And then you're going to want to click into this folder. And if you skip this step, what's going to end up happening is that when you click save, a bunch of pictures are going to go all over your computer. So you don't want to skip this step. Make that folder, name it something like I did here. I named it frames, and then click into it like so. And then after you do all that, you will be ready to extract all your frames. So finally, you can click save. And then this will begin putting all the pictures of this video into this folder. So I'm going to click save. And then as you can see, all the frames are being extracted right here. Alright, so now for the very fun part, we're going to open up Krita. As you can see here, it is in my taskbar. But again, if you don't see it, go to the search bar and search up Krita. But now I'm going to open it up here. Alright, and then once we have it open, we can go ahead and click new file like so. And then let's go ahead and check our width and our height. So since I filmed in landscape mode, it is going to be 1920 by 1080. So that is good. Switch these depending on how you filmed your video. But I'm fine here. So then I'm going to go ahead and click create. Alright, and now some very helpful housekeeping tips. You need to go up here to tools. Nope, you need to go to settings. So you go to settings up here, and then you need to go to Dockers, and then you need to enable the animation timeline like so. So just go ahead and click this. And then one more thing that you should enable, and that's going to be onion skin. Everyone knows you can't animate without onion skins. And then you can go ahead and adjust this like so. If you go to this middle part here, you can move it like this. Alright, so now we want to import all of the pictures that we extracted from the video. And what you want to do is you want to go to File up here in the top left corner. Go ahead and click that. And then you want to go to Import Animation Frames like this. Go ahead and click that. And then you want to just go to Add Images like this. And then once you're here, you want to go to that folder that we stored all of the pictures in. So I'm going to go down here to Documents, which is where I put it. And then in Documents, I have it right here under Frames. So I'm going to go ahead and click this folder. Alright, and now a useful tip is that you should left click the first picture or the first frame right here. So left click that, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom of the frames. And then you want to click Shift and left click. So hold Shift and then left click on the last frame like this. And then it will highlight all of the frames in chronological order like this. Then go ahead and click Open. And then go ahead and click OK. And then all of your frames should appear in the animation timeline like this. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and pin our animation frames to the animation timeline. So go ahead and click this pin right here. Alright, now you're going to lock the animation timeline for your frames because you don't want to accidentally edit them while you are rotoscoping. So click this lock. And then we're going to make our layer where we actually want to do the rotoscoping, so where we trace everything out. So go over here to this plus sign and click it. And then that will be your layer where you actually animate everything. And then to start tracing, go ahead and make your first frame like this. And then I recommend that if you don't have a drawing tablet and you just have a mouse, go ahead and click this line tool. And then this is basically the perfect substitute for not having a drawing tablet because you can make precise strokes with this. Like as you can see here, I can make almost a really good curve or a really good arc like that. Once again, fellas, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.